A little while ago on our YouTube channel, when we first put the aFe Stage-2 Magnum Force intake on, a comment was made by one of our viewers that said that this was not a true sealed forced air induction CAI. And to a degree he was correct, because there are a lot of cutouts and things like that, corner notches. So I told the viewer that I was going to attempt to make a CAI that is truly sealed, much like the stock, but yet still be performance oriented. Well, I am doing this in a very simple fashion. I have taken some duct tape, which is some really good duct tape. Grill is really good, holds really good, and I basically sealed all of the edges and the mating surfaces of the filter housing onto the stock airbox. Once I have done that, I put a bead of blue RTV on the edges, as well as I did so on the cover itself. And when I put the filters back on and put the covers back on, that RTV will seal in place. Now, one thing, if you put it on wet, that RTV is going to almost glue that top cover into place. So if you're really wanting to make a gasket, let it dry out a little bit, put a thin coat, just enough to get a good seal, and you will not hear any vacuum leaks or anything else like that. So let me go to that part right now. Okay, so here's the cover. As you can see, I did put the silicone all the way around. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but I don't care, because it's on the inside, as well as the duct tape. The duct tape's going to hide on the outside. One of the neat things that I did was, when I put the snap clips in place, that duct tape is actually going to be hid underneath the cover. And I sealed that up and put some silver duct tape and covered that as well, sticky side to sticky side, and it sealed it up really nice. So I'm going to put the filters back on, then I'm going to install the cover and show you how it looks. Okay, there they are with the filters all nice and installed. The filters are nice and tight up against the airbox itself. Pushed the tubes down in there and tightened them up, so that provides a very good seal. So we are going to be as close to airtight as we possibly can be. Next thing I'm going to do is install the cover. Okay, so here it is with the light on, because it's getting a little dark out here. One thing I did want to show you is, to finish off the sealing part of the airbox, I did put some duct tape right along this bottom seam right here, and just kind of cut a little 1/4 inch. You can barely even see it against there. Of course, they've got all different kind of colors of duct tape, and like I said, this is really rigid, or I'm sorry, not rigid, but flexible, but it sticks great. This Gorilla duct tape is some of the best duct tape I've ever used. I actually did this last night, but then I took it all apart just so I could film this video. I want to show you guys something, because there's people that get questions on how the air intake system works. Well, you see the big snorkel right there. It looks like it is actually sealed by the hood right there, but that's not actually the case. If you look, there's actually an air channel that only the top portion of this snorkel is going to be sealed against. The rest of it, you can see where the marks are. It doesn't completely seal, but you see where that line of dirt is right there. That actually forces the air to come in prior to the radiator. So you're actually getting airflow into the snorkel coming this way, which creates a forced air induction. Now that it's completely sealed, it should be a complete forced air induction sealed cold air intake system, which will, you know, it should add just a little bit more performance. And since I did it last night, I did note that there was a noticeable difference than with all the little holes and stuff like that, because now we are getting straight fresh air. Now again, our air temperature last night was 46 degrees, so the colder the air the better. I did talk to Matt at Ford Performance about, okay, we got a cold air intake, what happens when it hits the turbos? It heats up. But the theory is that you've got colder air, which is denser, hitting the turbos. Even though that the turbos are really hot, that's a lot of air that is now being compressed as it gets hot, because hot air expands. So as it goes to the intercooler, it cools back off, you've got more cool air coming through. As so the engineers say, and it actually works. So that's what it looks like, all nice and cleaned up. It is sealed up. Like I said, if you let the gasket, that blue RTV, seal up, or not seal, but dry or tack up pretty good, you just really want to try to make a small gasket to seal that edge. And I was able to pop it off. Took some doing, because I actually let it glue on, but I did get it off eventually. And I left it on there because it was still nice and it still had the edges and stuff like that. So there you have it. That's how I sealed up the intake. And you can't tell other than that one little strip of duct tape, but it's barely noticeable anyway. The outer air box looks nice and clean. You can see the little nubs of blue gasket sealer, but hey, I got a blue truck, it's okay, I don't mind. I appreciate you watching, and have a great night.